gentlemen, welcome to the preview show. I'm Jonathan Merriman here with Marty Snyder of NBC Sports. Marty, we're heading into Throwback weekend. Denny Hamlin wins Bristol, super good at Darlington. What are the odds that Denny gets hot again and wins this Sunday night?
I think excellent, because I think truly he is the best driver right now at Darlington. I think when you look at how that 11 team has been running right now with Chris Gabehart, the way Denny is focused. I mean, Denny's focused unlike I've ever seen him in his entire career. And you go back to 2010, the time he made the championship 4, I don't know that he was ready at that point as a driver mentally to win a championship. He is now, and I think he's in a very good spot to say, hey, we're probably the team to beat even in that championship 4. I think Denny Hamlin and his team have won at all kinds of different racetracks. They have shown speed at different kinds of racetracks. They're finally putting races together. I think the combination of Chris Gabehart, Denny Hamlin, they're going to be terrific throughout the playoffs.
All right, so when we look back at last year, Brad Keselowski warmed up right around this time of the year. He was super hot in the first part of the playoff, but they fizzled out a little bit. What does the 11 team have to do, or Kevin Harvick even, who's gotten warm recently, to be able to carry that throughout the playoffs and not just, you know, burn out right now?
Well, I don't think you can really look at what the two team did last year. Yeah, they won this race and they went on to win Indianapolis, but I really feel like that they didn't have the best car in either of those races. But back to the point of the 11 team, I don't think they're peaking too early. I think they're building momentum at the right time. And the one thing for me is they've shown that speed week after week. The way the 11 team is running right now, the speed they've shown, I think the momentum continues for them into the playoffs. And if you look at the schedule, playoffs just get better for Denny Hamlin as he goes throughout the playoff schedule.
All right, so Darlington, it's known as the track too tough to tame. It's hot, it's slick. We start in the daytime, we end under the lights. Odds are your car is going to have a couple marks on it at the end of this thing. What makes Darlington so tough?
Well, the simple fact is it wasn't made for speeds like this that they're running right now. It was made to run 120, 130 miles an hour. But I like, you know, when you look at Kevin Harvick, the way he approaches practice at Darlington, he does kind of the opposite of everybody else. You'll see guys get up there and they run the wall and they run right beside the wall where you're supposed to run to create speed at Darlington. Harvick will practice on the bottom, you know, and his theory is, listen, I don't want to mess up my car. I'm going to learn what I need to learn about my car. All I need to focus on is making my car good on long runs. He's been one of the cars to beat. Brad Keselowski has been able to do that. You look at guys like Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, they've been able to make their cars good on the long run. Tires are going to be everything this weekend. We've seen a couple of times, Jonathan, where teams have almost run out of tires on pit road. So managing when you pit, there'll be a ton of cautions. It's a long race. It's a grueling race. But I think that, to me, is what makes Darlington so tough. Just all those factors make it a difficult racetrack, probably the most difficult on the entire schedule.
All right, you mentioned a couple guys I wanted to talk about in there, but one you didn't mention was Martin Truex Jr., Cole Pearn. Past couple of years, they've been super, super good at Darlington as well. So how big of a threat will the 19 be?
I think they're really looking forward to this race because it's a race weekend where Cole Pearn can kind of relax a little bit. He doesn't like these compacted weekends. He likes these longer weekends where they can kind of think about setup and they can kind of concentrate on what they need to do to make the car good. But I think Martin Truex Jr. has been excellent at this type of racetrack. And trust me, he's learned a lot from Denny Hamlin about how to take care of the car, how to take care of it on long runs. They have come so close to having multiple wins here at Darlington. So I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat this weekend, no doubt about it, because a lot of people are thinking the 11 car and guys like that. But don't forget about Truex. He's going to be good too.
All right, it's coming down to crunch time for the bubble drivers. So Jimmy Suarez, Clint, Ryan Newman, who has the most to be worried about heading into these next 2 weeks?
I would say if I had to pick one driver, I would say Jimmy Johnson and his team. I just haven't seen really the speed of that 48 car. And I almost feel like at times Jimmy's maybe trying too hard. This weekend at Darlington is going to be a critical weekend for that team. I don't know that they need to finish top 5. They've got to finish top 10. They've got to gain some points on the other teams and really just have a solid weekend because you never know what can happen with the other cars. I'm also a little bit worried about Daniel Suarez and his team. I think they've had a couple of good races. They've had a couple of good finishes. But you look at Darlington, very tough racetrack. I don't know how they'll run there. And then you go to Indianapolis. I'm not sure how they'll be there. I know that they might be better than they will be at Darlington. So I'm a little bit worried about Suarez and Jimmy Johnson. But of them all, I think Jimmy Johnson's the guy I'm worried about the most. I think Boyer will run well the next 2 weeks. I think he'll be in solid position. And I like these two races for Ryan Newman, to be honest. They're kind of these, you know, you got to gut out these finishes. Newman has been excellent at that this year.
All right, a couple of nail biters coming up. And on fantasy, I bite my nails every weekend when I look at that. So who should I pick this weekend, Marty?
I think you're crazy if you don't go with Denny Hamlin and his race team. I mean, the way they've run, the speed they've shown, he loves this racetrack. He's won the Southern 500 before. I think this is Denny Hamlin's kind of race. Managing the tires throughout a run, being good at the end of the run. That's what Denny Hamlin has really done well. I think there's going to be a lot of really good cars this weekend. You're going to see people up front. You're going to see the lead change a lot, but I think Denny Hamlin will be the guy to beat throughout the race.
All right, I'm going to take the 19. I think Joe Gibbs Racing is the team to beat, and until somebody beats them, you know, you're going to have to prove me wrong. So
none of us took Kyle Larson. He dominated the race last year, just didn't win it.
Got to
so
be able to finish. That's one thing he's got to put together.
That's true.
All right, now coming up this Sunday, it's the Bojangles Southern 500, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN. It's Throwback Weekend. You guys get your gear together.
There you go.
Yeah, put some old music on the radio.
I got to work on my shirt.
Yeah, make sure you tune into the race again, 6 p.m. Sunday night on NBCSN.